The smell of fried chicken filled the air that afternoon, mingling with the laughter of children and the clatter of trays inside a bustling KFC. The lunch rush was in full swing, and every table seemed crowded with families, workers on break, and students grabbing a quick bite. But in the corner sat a man alone, Senator John Kennedy. Dressed plainly in a button-down shirt, no cameras or aides around, he blended into the crowd. Most people barely noticed him as he quietly picked at his meal, a thoughtful look resting on his face. At a table just a few feet away sat a young family, a father who looked worn down from long hours of labor, a mother doing her best to manage two children buzzing with energy, and a grandmother who moved slowly, carefully tending to her food. Their voices carried softly, a mix of laughter and exhaustion, as they shared a modest meal together. Every so often, the father's eyes would glance toward Kennedy, recognizing him but too shy to say anything. Finally, it was the grandmother who broke the silence. With a warm, wrinkled smile, she leaned toward the senator and said, "Sir, I know you must be busy, but you shouldn't have to eat alone. Would you care to join us?" At first, Kennedy hesitated. He was used to being noticed in the Senate chamber, not in a fast food restaurant, and certainly not being invited to sit with strangers. But something in the woman's voice struck him. It wasn't about politics, or power, or appearances. It was about kindness. He stood up, tray in hand, and with that familiar grin of his, replied, "Ma'am, I'd be honored." The family shifted to make space. Kennedy placed his tray down, and what followed melted every heart within earshot. He didn't dominate the conversation, nor did he bring up the titles and accomplishments that defined his career. Instead, he asked questions, the kind of questions that showed genuine care. He asked the father about his job. The man explained he worked long shifts at a factory, often missing family dinners, but he did it to provide for his children's future. Kennedy nodded with respect, replying, "That's the hardest job of all, being the man your family can count on." He asked the mother how she managed with two little ones running circles around the table. She laughed, admitting it wasn't easy, but the children's smiles made every hard day worth it. Kennedy leaned in, his voice softer now, saying, "There's no greater strength in this world than a mother's love." He listened as the grandmother shared stories of raising her children in tougher times, when money was scarce, but family was everything. Kennedy smiled, his eyes twinkling with sincerity, and said, "You remind me of my own mama. She taught me that riches aren't measured in dollars, but in love." By now, others in the restaurant had begun to notice. Phones slipped quietly out of pockets, recording the rare sight of a senator breaking bread with ordinary people, not for votes, not for show, but because he was.